Hey, welcome to Facts at 5. I'm Michael Clark here at the LTV Media Center in Wayne, Scott, New York. It is Friday, January the 8th, 2021. I got the year right. That's good. And wow, what a slow news week. Hi, Morgan.
Totally.
My partner in crime here, Morgan Vaughan. Say hello, Morgan.
Hello, Morgan.
So yeah, it's been an interesting week, right? Um, we tend to focus mostly on the local stuff, but it's really hard not to delve into a little bit because it impacts all of us on the events that happened in Washington this week. Really, a sad, obviously, state of affairs. No matter which side of the aisle you sit on, I think there's kind of an uproar about it. But what I think the key thing about us for here at Facts at 5 is the fact that while all of these things are happening, that people are still dying. Outside the protests, people are still dying from COVID. Nearly 4,000 deaths yesterday. And Dr. Fauci said that the high toll was likely to continue and probably reflected increased travel and gatherings over the holidays. And he still thinks that, it's still going to continue upward before it starts trending downward. And we have to continue on the right course in terms of staying, keeping the masks and all the things that we've talked about.
When you say 4,000 deaths, you mean in the United States?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for clearing that up. That
would be really, really big and unfortunate. But there were 22 fatalities over one night. I can never tell with this because it has the thing where it does it yesterday, but they can't get the data from the day before. So it's about 22 people died the night before last, and on that day, and that still is a lot for a county like us.
Yeah,
dying from a disease that should have been, at least, especially by this time, something that we weren't as concerned.
Right, and there's been the you see on the news nearly every day about the fact that the vaccine is not being administered quick enough, and Governor Cuomo's put a charge that the hospitals better get moving, otherwise they're going to be fined. And to date, that New York has administered approximately 430,000 vaccine doses. New York Hospital had previously jumped in administrating an average of 10,000 doses per day, and that's now up to 30,000 per day. So that's good, but it's not where we need to be. And that's according to Governor Cuomo on his newsletter that he circulates.
Well, two things. One is that there's this amazing documentary, if you have Netflix, to watch about the coronavirus vaccine rollout. And part of what, everybody, it was all about making the vaccine. And Laura Linney narrates it. I'll put it up. But that was a third of what needed to happen. The other part was always going to be the difficulty in the distribution, partly because of having to keep it cold, all the different things that go along with it. It's huge, huge task. I mean, if you've ever, planned a dinner party for 16, just imagine trying to get 320 million people vaccinated. I mean, it's astounding. And you have to keep it, cold to a certain temperature, and you have to have the right people giving it. And there's so many cogs. The second thing is that somebody actually just called LTV and spoke to Jody, who's doing the village zoning board meeting, and said, what I want to know is, I think she or he probably thought it was a town board meeting. I want to know is, when do we get the vaccine?
Right.
So I went to, there is a way that you can see if you're eligible right now on the New York State Health website, and I'll put that up. It's an am I eligible? And here is the screen share for the questions that we'll ask you, which is, you have to put your name, blah, blah, blah. And then, are you a worker in a patient-facing healthcare setting or a congregate living setting? Yes or no? And are you currently living in a congregate setting? So you have to answer those questions. So that's not you and me. So we're not eligible yet, even to try to be eligible.
Right.
So that's a concern. But good news is, and you can talk to this, the town of East Hampton has actually really stepped up and gotten a great testing site set up. This is not the vaccine, but for testing COVID-19 at Town Hall.
Right, yeah, I went there this morning, actually. I tried to get in on Wednesday. It opened on Wednesday. I tried to get in and, being the first day, there was no way. But you go on their website, and I'm sure you'll put that up on the screen, and sign up. And, once you sign up and you have an appointment,
This is
you
the test
you
for
sign
your
up,
website.
right, that's it, exactly, right there. And you just book the appointment, and if you have insurance, they take the insurance. So, there's no money changing hands. That happened to me anyway. You pay with insurance, and I got the nasal swab. I came out negative, obviously, on that work, but but you can get the antigen test and the full test that they send away, and take 7 days to come back. But the rapid test is what I went for, and
These
so
are out-of-pocket rates, just if anyone's interested in that.
right, and so it was great. I mean, it's the people there were really nice. You just wait. There's two lines, one for walk-ups. They do take walk-ups, and one for the appointments. And obviously that line was a lot smaller. You just wait in your car until it's your turn. Then they bring you into this very small building, and it's just you in there. And there's three ladies in there who are, again, very, very nice. And they give you, stick the nasal thing back up into your brain area, back over in here, which is kind of wild. So be prepared for your eyes to be watering. But you just go there with your insurance card, your some form of ID. You give them that, and you get the results right away if you want the rapid test. So it was wonderful. And like you said, kudos to David Lease, who from the town board, who headed up getting these put in to town hall. And the town board was obviously all involved, but and I think they're looking to put another one out east, which would be
The
great.
Montauk one?
In Montauk, they're looking to do that as well. That's not up yet, but they'll do it.
I want to show one more thing before we leave this, and that is that notice this right here: minors without a state ID minors without a state issued ID must show birth certificate. So just know before you go that if you have a minor and you don't have necessarily a state ID, you have to bring the birth certificate to get this test.
Yeah, like I said, it was so the federal government wasn't coming through with the testing sites, and according to Peter Van Scoyac, and neither was the state. So they went out and did that's what you got to do. If you're not getting your results, you go do it yourself. And again, kudos to the board for doing that.
I think it's great. I profound thanks to the board of the town of East Hampton. I just am really sad that these are not lines to get the vaccine. And I think that is what this whole period is going to go down to eventually, is the utter failure of the federal government in helping people work out how to do this. We've all, in our little towns, without experts necessarily, many towns across the country have had to figure out how to do this all by our little selves. And
Right.
that's not why we're paying taxes, honestly, to the federal
Right.
government. The federal government, we're paying taxes so that they can take care of us for exactly this situation.
Right.
This is, and something that they knew was going to happen. So that is the thing that I'm sad about. However, that being said, getting people tested is certainly better than nothing.
Right.
People wearing masks is better than that. And, so I'm really grateful that they got it together.
I think the thing, just my own personal opinion, I think the thing that we have to, go back to in 2021 is the fact that the government works for us. We don't work for the government. And that's local, that's state, and that's federal.
Yep.
They work for us. We don't work for them. And that mindset has kind of been changed. And whether, you blame it on the president of the United States and the way he handled things or whatever, it's irrelevant. It's for us to remember who works for who.
Yeah.
We put you there. Do your job. If you don't do your job, let's get someone in there that can do their job, and hopefully things moving forward will be a little bit smoother. But
I mean, can you imagine 4,000? I mean, this is a threat to our national security. Imagine if 4,000 people a day were dying because of, another
Terror.
country coming in and terrorists, global terrorists coming in.
Right.
It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's the same thing. This is why we have a federal government. This is why I want a federal government, and I want a federal government that works. Well,
yeah, and it's one of the things that you and I have been saying since the very beginning when we first started doing Facts at 5 was, it seemed like we've become numb to the fact that it's like, you see a number, 4,000 deaths.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, when the World Trade Centers went down, horrible situation. We've had so much happen in our lifetime that, that was, we'll never forget, and that was 2,000 people in one fell swoop.
Right.
Meanwhile, we're having 4,000 a day passing away, and we go about our business. So we need to focus on what's happening, focus on doing it right, focus on keeping each other safe by wearing our masks and doing the right things. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
And I hope that we have offered, we called this Facts at 5 for a reason. We wanted to give people the facts. And I hope that we have been able to do that. There is so much. That's going to be another thing that we'll talk about for many, many years, is the disinformation and the misinformation that is out there about everything. And it's so we are trying to keep it as all we can. And we both rigorously look up every single thing that we do. And that's why I try to put up screenshots so you get a better idea. Anyway, so I hope that it helps.
Well, it's helped me, and I. So thank you, Maury. Anything else for today?
No, I think we have Peter Van Scoyoc, which we spoke with him yesterday. You spoke with him yesterday, and everybody keep safe.
Yeah, I'll quickly go change my clothes into one I was wearing yesterday, and Peter will be on next. So thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Have a safe weekend.